time. It's that time. It is time for the UK SJPORR beer experiment reviews. That is so hard to say. It really is. Alrighty. So the second beer up, this is the Drive-By Jousting. This is a really cool bottle, I gotta tell you, from Welsh Brewery. Check that out. This is unique beer. I'm gonna read some of the stuff on the bottle to you. It says, using the base recipe, I used a medieval style to create this beer. With a little research, I came up with a recipe that was close to the period as I could, and using modern equipment and technique. The biggest challenge would be no hops, using herbs to bitter the brew as well as to flavor and give aroma, and age on wood to give it an additional depth. So there's no hops, they used herbs in this, and it was aged on some wood. Has some of the base ingredients, but I noticed he has a few other things. He has bog myrtle in here, so myrtle, and bog is a boggy sounding type of myrtle. Rosemary, yarrow, he had oak chips and whiskey in it. So this promises to be a unique beer. I do remember the reviews on this. Everyone was a little bit confounded. There was concern that there was a lack of carbonation, which I can tell pouring it right now. And I remember Uncle Jonah saying, well, let's get stuck in. I just love that phrase. All right, well, I'm already smelling it, so I'll kind of show you. It's kind of a burnt orange color, kind of very murky in color. You really cannot see through it at all. I mean, there is some light coming through, but you can't see through it. And I can already smell it, so let's get a nose on this. Wow, this is like a punch bowl. I mean, seriously, this is, except for the herbs coming through, change it up. It makes me think of a punch bowl. Oh, now I just picked up some of the whiskey. The whiskey with a punch actually is kind of a cool effect. Oh yeah, the rosemary, you're getting that, the myrtle. I know what myrtle is because it's a plant and I've actually grown it. Oh my. And I know what yarrow is. I can't say I know what it smells like, but yeah, you got these herbs coming on with this very fruity, like punch bowl type aroma. So, all right, cheers. Let's get stuck in. Wow, that's hard to describe. I'm gonna work on it. I'm going to take a moment and then I'm going to come back and try to describe this one. There's not a good way to describe this beer that most people can relate to. Because there are no hops in this beer, there's definitely a punch bowl effect. It tastes like a fruit punch that has had herbs added to it, and definitely you get the wood, a little bit of the influence of the whiskey, but it tones it, these punch bowl flavors and aromas, very much into a earthy, very earthy type flavor. You do get all the fruits on the nose. And I want to say, like, I'm getting things like apple, cinnamon, like some berries, or, you know, a little citrus on there. So very much like you just have this mix of fruits, you know, much like a fruit salad. But then you threw in some rosemary, you know, the myrtle and the yarrow, right? And then you maybe took a little whiskey that was really sitting on wood, lots of wood, and dumped and mixed that in with a bunch. Very unique flavor. I could see how this is very much like a period beer for sure. But particularly because there's a low carbonation, and I could see that being much more to the period as well. kind of fun, actually, in a way, but very different. It's not going to be your average beer drinker's delight here for sure. You get a little bit of a sour on it too. So yeah, just a little bit of that aspect, but I have the feeling those sour flavors and it kind of come off because of the herbs that are put into it. As I swished around my mouth, it kind of made me think a little bit of like, like the Flanders Red, but there's the brown versions of that. It made me think of like a Flanders Brown, if you would, the Flemish Brown Ale. But because of the herbs in it and the wood on there, it really tones it all down. So you don't get the sweet flavors that you would get. While in the nose, you get this whole punch bowl effect. But on the taste, it's not a sweet flavor per se. Actually, if this beer was like toned up, like sweeter, this could be a really, really fun beer. Truly, this could be a really much more interesting beer for sure. Anyway, wow, Dave, I appreciate that. That's quite a treat. Something unique for sure. Life too short, people. You got to try all kinds of amazing beers, that's for sure. And I will see you in the next UK SJPORR Experiment Beer Review. Cheers.